I'm John Hinkle, the senior pastor of First Presbyterian Church. This is your Saturday morning preview of your Sunday morning sermon that I'm doing in my dining room. It's kind of like old COVID days, right? When we used to do this, when we first started this, was during COVID days, and we had the stay-at-home order, and I would have to do this in my dining room or the sunroom. Started out in the sun porch, then I ended here in the dining room. All that being said, this is your Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. We are continuing our series of sermons looking at the 5 most impactful hymns in the American church culture, according to Christianity Today. We started out last Sunday looking at, and I'm laughing because I even forgot what we looked at last Sunday. So I'm stalling. But I know what we're doing this Sunday. It's Well With My Soul. But I sang last Sunday, so surely I would remember that. I'm stalling now to kind of remember, what was it? Oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy. But I'm gonna get it. I'm stalling enough to pull it up, because it will drive me crazy the whole Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. If I don't, this is going to take forever. Never mind. We're looking at It Is Well With Our Soul this Sunday. This is pure magic, baby. It Is Well With My Soul is written by a guy named Horatio Spafford. Horatio was a lawyer in Chicago. He was also, at the time, when he wrote this, a ruling elder in the Presbyterian Church, which is ironic enough because It Is Well With My Soul is not in our blue hymnal. It's not even in the old red 1956 hymnal. It's not a hymn that we sing as a congregation traditionally in the Presbyterian Church. But we know it's a hymn that's sung a lot because it made the top 5 list. So some denominations, man, they love It Is Well With My Soul. Now, usually when we hear It Is Well With My Soul is in connection with a funeral, or at least that's when I hear it. Because it's not a hymn that we usually sing, we are going to be honored to have Kathy Daniels sing it as our anthem. But our text this Sunday, in connection with It Is Well With My Soul, comes from the prophet Isaiah. He writes in the 26th chapter, "We have a strong city. God makes salvation its walls and ramparts. Open the gates that the righteous nations may enter, that the nations may keep faith. You will keep perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord himself, is our rock eternal." So one of the interesting things that I have been doing in this series of sermons is kind of doing a deeper dive into the people who wrote these hymns. What is it about these hymns that we need to know that will help us understand the hymn itself? And the same is true with Horatio Spafford. Horatio Spafford faced tragedy after tragedy. Great is thy faithfulness. That was our first hymn. Great is thy faithfulness. Anyway, Horatio Spafford, on the surface, looked like he had a very prosperous life. Yet, quickly, he faced one hardship after the other hardship. And I would say unspeakable hardship. And in that hardship, he writes this hymn, "It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul." But was it? I'm not going to go into details of what happened to Horatio Spafford and his wife Anna after he faced these very difficult moments. But it is clear to me, and no judging of Horatio or Anna and the decisions that they made after these tragedies, that it wasn't so well. That maybe, just maybe, this the hymn should say, it's not so well with my soul. And that's why I think our text is so important. And I'm going to connect our text with not Horatio's words, but Anna's words. And we'll talk about Anna's words in my sermon. But what our text says is that even when it's not well with our soul, we can find our refuge in God. We can find our refuge in Jesus Christ. Understand, when the prophet spoke these words, the southern kingdom, Judea, was a mess. The kings in the hierarchy were bowing down to other nations and their gods. People have forgotten what Yahweh, what God had done for them. And personally for Isaiah, nobody was listening to him. Nobody. But Isaiah reminds us that where we find our salvation is not in kind of the stuff of this world. It is not in platitudes that are meant to give us comfort when in reality just kind of makes us feel more empty. Our salvation comes in this faith, and that which we cannot see but trust, which is the very grace and mercy of God. It is well with my soul only happens when we hold on to what has been promised to us, even in the muck and the mire. So that's it. Hey, remember, 2 services tomorrow, 8:30 and 11. So we'll see you there. 8:30 people, we'll see you there. 11 o'clock, we'll see you there. At 9:30, we will... the adults will have an all Sunday school assembly in the sanctuary. So this is especially for people who, don't have a Sunday school class or want to know what other Sunday school classes are doing. We will also have the blessing of the backpacks. So bring your backpacks. Bring those backpacks so we can bless them and bless those who have the backpacks. So I definitely will hope to see Glenn Emery there, and Will Fraley, and Marcy Richmond, and Savannah, and all the fans of Saturday Morning Preview, a Sunday morning sermon. I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you soon.